Hello, healthcare finance students. It is the spring of 2021. My name is Chris Gibbons. I am your instructor for this course. And with this video, I want to introduce a few things, go over a couple problems that we're having, and clarify some stuff going on with our course. So first thing I want to talk about is this area right here that you landed on as soon as you came into the course. Let me minimize my picture here. So what we're going to do is we have this little news area I like to run, and where I kind of put right up front kind of a video blog. Usually I do one weekly, talk about things in the course. Sometimes they're quick, sometimes they're long. This one's going to be a little bit longer, guys, being our first one. So in this area, make sure you check out if I have any new videos are in there. Make sure you watch them because I've changed something in the course, and it's always to your advantage. If I'm going to change something, I'm not going to add more work to the course. So make sure that you take a look at this, or I might clarify something that I've made completely unclear, which I'm going to do in this video as well. So look for those video blogs, again, usually weekly. Also, you're going to find, and we've already got it here, the learning activity answers. So I'll drop those in here as well. And then you're going to see homework help. So I have some old homework help in here that I used in a previous run in this course. So I'll have the homework help in there. I still think they're kind of relevant for the questions. But let's go ahead and talk a little bit about kind of the first thing going on with the course. So I've gotten a few messages from students. Some students have this guy. This is the 7th edition. I've got a few students who have the 6th edition. So we looked at them and they were virtually identical. Virtually is the key word. When I looked at them, I was like, okay, all the questions are the same. The pages were just skewed by about 10 pages difference. It looks like they inserted some additional space somewhere in the book. Couldn't find out where exactly that extra space happened. But the questions were apparently identical, but not exactly. So I was just texting with a student. So thank Alyssa for this. She's like, wait a minute, they're slightly different. So I'm looking at them going, well, no, they're not. Then I look and like, oh my gosh, they are just a little bit different. So here is what we are going to do. For the most part, as I look at the questions and the problems, they are virtually identical. The spirit of them is the same. The numbers, again, looking at them, are the same. It would appear, okay, yeah, they've if you have the 7th edition, they've taken a little bit out. So like if in some of the more maybe challenging parts, they've taken those out, which is great. So what we are going to do, yeah, definitely they've dropped some of the more challenging aspects. So here's what I'm going to do. When we look at the homework, let's go into the module and just take a look at it this way. So when we go into the module, and in our homework, let's just pick, let's see, we're in module 2. So in our learning activity, I'm going to update this in a few minutes. But what I will do is I will update it for those folks that have the 6th edition. Here's what you need to do. For those folks that have the 7th edition, here's what you need to do. Because the 6th edition is a little bit, they added a few extra, like if you see it, sometimes the question will have like A, B, C, D. And in the 7th edition, it's just ABC. They took out the challenge question. So to be fair to everybody, what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, okay, do question 10.1 A, B, and C. For 6th edition folks and for 7th edition folks, I'm going to tell you exactly A, B, and C, or whatever you need to do. Sometimes it looks like they skewed those just a bit as well. So I think we can track with both textbooks apparently right now just fine. We'll figure out a way. If it gets more out of whack as we go, again, I previewed that earlier and it was spot on, I thought, but now it's the devil's in the details as the first time we're running this with this, that I'm running this with the 7th edition. So, all right, so stay tuned for that. That's how we'll fix the problem between 6th and 7th edition, and I will make it a fair playing field so people aren't doing like extra, a lot of extra work with those. Now let me talk a little bit about the homework itself as well to talk you off the ledge. With the learning activities, okay, you're going to notice. Let's go back here. You're going to notice in the learning activities, it's going to say, please address the following problems, not questions. Why am I being so specific? I'll tell you in just a second. So make sure you kind of look at that piece down there. And the reason why I say problems and not questions, go to the end of the chapter, whatever edition that you have. Go to the end of the chapter, whether it's the 6th edition or the 7th edition. And you'll notice that the author has a series of questions. Then they have a series of problems. The problems are more mathy, okay? More calculatory kind of stuff, okay? The questions are just usually definitions, or you're going to write a paragraph, explain why, that kind of stuff. So that is a very important, differentiating factor to look at when you're doing the learning activities. I have had students who have done it says do problem 14.1. They did question 14.1. Okay, they'll flip them back and forth. Just make sure that you got the right one. In general, the problems tend to be a little harder because they're more math oriented. So I try to balance it out that you're not working on these things for 2 hours. So, all right, so keep that in mind. It should say it right there. And again, I'm going to add instructions for both the 6th and 7th editions as we, continue, starting with learning activity 2. The other thing to talk you off the ledge with the homework is that you could easily get an A in this course and not have one mathematically correct answer. So the bulk of the points are given for problem setup. Okay, so just make sure good faith effort that you're setting it up. If you've got the problem wrong, but you set it up pretty good and it looks like you actually gave it the college try, you're going to get a lion's share of the points. Of course, a few extra points will be reserved for those individuals who, knock it out of the park and get the correct answer. But you can easily get an A in this course, comfortably get an A in this course and not have one, mathematically correct answer. I even typically throw in some extra credit, which most folks don't even need. If you feel that you're maybe on the lower end of an A, to give you some more cushion. So keep that in mind. So don't get all the anxiety going through the roof on trying to find the correct answer. You're going to find, as you'll find with the last week's assignments, you're going to see that, so far I've graded about half of those that, huge, you're going to get mostly almost all the points. Again, if you've got the wrong answer, a little haircut on points. If you got it perfect, and so far I did see, there were a couple students who got perfect scores, but a little bit extra reserved for them. But you don't worry. Again, everybody can get an A in this course. I know there's a lot of math phobia. Whenever we pull out calculators and stuff like that, which is understandable for folks. Okay, so there is that. All right, so with that, I guess stay tuned. I'm going to be updating. I'll update the Learning Activity 2. And we'll be able to use both either the 6th or 7th edition, and everybody will be on the same playing field. So look for those changes happening very, very shortly. All right. Other than that, I think that just about covers it for this week. Let's see. We've covered the textbook issue. Where the announcements are going to be. Again, that landing page will just show up automatically. And I think, with as far as you going through the learning activities, making sure you're doing the correct problem or the correct question, as we go through this. If you do have any questions, again, folks, thank Alyssa. She's already texted me, and a few others have already texted me. Feel free to text me. It's usually the quickest way to get a hold of me. Oh, going back, let me just go back to the homework help real quick. I forgot that was the last thing I wanted to talk about. All right, so the homework help, yeah, so believe it or not, that's me. That was me a while ago and a few pounds ago. So what the homework help is geared towards that 6th edition. So you're going to have to, for those of you that are going to be tracking on the 7th, some of the, as I'm working through the problem, some of them will be, won't apply because, again, kind of the 7th is a little bit, I want to say dumbed down apparently, but it looks like they've taken some of those challenge parts out of those questions. So keep that in mind as I'm working through it. I did notice another thing too, that they've changed like some of the names of like fake companies. Like they had a company called Apex and they changed it to Apple. So if you hear me like refer to the name that the author called it, but they changed the name of it, maybe they got sued, I have no idea. Just keep that in mind. But the homework help should have a good, I guess, the spirit of those questions, if not exactly what those questions. The numbers look still identical to what was previously run. Now, if I have the ability, because these were created over a period of time, if I have the ability to start knocking out new homework helps, especially if I find there are significant differences, we're going to start knocking out some new homework helps in there. With that being said, there's really like a lot of additional support. The homework helps were just kind of something that students were like, can we get something else? Kind of icing on the cake. You still have the textbook itself and the lectures that are in there will track on those major concepts, and almost always I will do a lecture on a type of question or problem that's going to be asked. So there's like 3 different ways: textbooks, lectures, and homework help. And though it may not be absolutely exact, in some cases it will be, but it may not be absolutely exact. Hopefully the spirit and setup will be enough to get you through that. And then knowing that even if you did get it wrong, you could still get significant credit for that problem. All right, guys. Okay, so that should cover it for this video. Sorry for running a little long. Remember to always check in this area for any new updates or videos. And everybody have a fantastic week, and I'll check in with you next week.